Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I think I'm going to take advantage of you sitting here by asking your reaction to that report we just had. Devin Murrigan talking about that important investment grade rating and why it's important for South Africa to hold on to that last one that we have left. I'm sure for your members it's as important.
It's very important for all of us, for all of South Africa, that we maintain an above junk status, which is the sole Moody's now. It's very important for cost of borrowing and for the cost of doing business in South Africa that it must be kept at a reasonable level. And of course, what complicates this is that if we were ever to be downgraded, God forbids, there'll be a flight of capital because some investors, especially in the States, are forbidden from investing in geographies which are junk status. So it's just as simple as that.
Now, you have said very simply that President Cyril Ramaphosa dare not fail as we head into the sixth sitting of Parliament. Why do you say that?
Well, Cyril Ramaphosa is a person whose ascendancy to presidency was long forecast by South Africans, including business. And in a way, it's very unfair because we're expecting to unleash a magic wand and resolve all our problems.
But we're on the cusp, aren't we?
We don't have leg room. If you turn left or right or look forward, there's not much space. So that's why a lot of focus is on him appointing the right people who are fit for purpose to do the right thing. And they, as a collective, must not fail.
Now, speaking of the right people, President Cyril Ramaphosa, in the lead-up to the national elections, made all the right noises and repeatedly said, especially in those last 2 weeks of the campaign, that those of questionable character or those who have been caught in the crosshairs of state capture would not be put in positions of responsibility, such as the importance especially of what he needs from those he appoints to cabinet. Do you believe he will follow through?
I believe so. I believe he understands the importance of being a person of his word. He understands the anxiety that bedevils our South African people and who want to see the best people, both men and women, who are fit for purpose, being entrusted with the responsibility of leading the next administration. And the fact that it's going to be a smaller cabinet, from what we understand, it's going to be anything between 24 and slightly above that.
Lean and mean is what he's going for.
Lean and mean, and therefore there's not much room for carrying passengers, as it were. It's got to be people who must immediately inspire people both on the social policy front, which the ANC seemingly has not been short on it, but also, most importantly, on the business front. The next administration must be about economic growth. It must be about creation of employment opportunities which are sustainable. It must be about inspiring young people, especially young graduates, that there is hope for them in the national economy. And the people who must do it are the people that he is going to appoint and make us know about on Sunday.
Now, we all know that in as much as it's the president's prerogative to appoint people to the cabinet, he does serve as the president of the ruling party, the ANC, and there would be powers within that organization that would try to carry some kind of influence, one would assume. Do you think that President Cyril Ramaphosa, after these elections, is in a stronger position within the party to make more bolder moves when it comes to the appointment of people to important positions within his cabinet, let's say?
Well, the president has always been strong. He may have presented a posture of being amenable to many influences. Of course, he has to be amenable to many influences because the ANC is a broad church. But here is one prerogative that is granted to him by the Constitution to appoint his cabinet. And he can rightfully do so because everyone else around him has got a vested interest. If he says, let me consult the top 6 to please guide, they will say, my hand is up, Tumamina. And he can't afford to appoint people who are just saying, please, Tumamina, when he does not believe that they are fit for the purpose. So we expect him to indeed consult, but he must be single-minded in choosing people that he trusts, can work, and people who have integrity, people who are industrious, people who have competence and the skills to can do the job. There's no time for social experiments with the executive.
Now, our reporter Annika Larson asked the President at Parliament today if he's having sleepless nights about gathering this group of people for his cabinet. He said, no, there's no sleepless nights. And then he went on to list all of the things that he believes he'll be able to cover, the boxes he'd like to tick when appointing this cabinet. He mentioned gender, youth, demographics, as well as competence, amongst that long shopping list, as it were. For the Black Business Council, what amongst those is the most important box for him to tick?
Well, we want competence. He spoke about balancing regional interests as well. Those are important for the internal constituents within the ANC. But we in business, we just want competent people who are fit for purpose, who are driven to serve South Africa with integrity, and who we can trust. Immediately he mentions their name. He's got to look far and wide. We encourage him to look far and wide. If that competence is not found within his immediate vicinity, he's got to look at what is out there among South Africans. But we have to find people who must say the economy must grow, who must say the economy must be inclusive in its posture and its outlook, who must say the economy must create employment opportunities, who must say the small business, SMME sector, must feel included going forward, because they need access to capital, they need to be given opportunities to access markets. The corrosive behavior of monopolies and oligopolies in this country needs to be managed, and there are many instruments that the President has in his arsenal, such as the competition law, for example, so that this economy can open up and be able to operate at the level where it belongs, which is very high up there.
Just to pick up on a point that you've just made, are you saying that President Cyril Ramaphosa, if he cannot find within the realm of his political home the correct people to take important positions, he should look outside of the political realm for competent people to take up certain reins in certain departments? Are you saying that the President should perhaps even look to the private sector and see which individuals there would be open to do, I suppose, #country duty?
The fact of the matter is that Madiba did it. President Mbeki did it. President Zuma did it to look beyond the people who have been sworn in at the National Assembly. For the simple reason that some people who may be prepared to serve are not prepared to go through those processes of election lists and all those things. And they need to be persuaded they are there in the private sector. Some of them are in the NGO movement. The President needs to exercise his constitutional right to find the best people. South Africa deserves just that, the best people in the positions, especially those in the economic cluster.
I'm going to leave it there for now. Thank you so much for your candor. Sandile Zungu is with the Black Business Council and Executive Chairperson of a Zungu Investments Company. Thank you so much for your time.